This afternoon, how many students were thrown out of the Badger game this weekend and what UW police are doing about it.
Plus, what the Dane County Sheriff says will happen after being denied a request to fill empty positions in his department.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Hello, everybody. Good to have you with us on this Monday. Hope you had a nice weekend. First at 4, right now, Amazon says its systems are mostly back online after an internet outage impacted people around the world today.
And still, people are reporting problems. The outage resulted in delayed flights. It stopped people from buying things online and being able to access some financial services and much more. Experts say the total financial impact of the AWS disruption could cost billions of dollars.
Services that were affected included Venmo, Amazon, Amazon Alexa, Snapchat, and Canvas, a learning platform that the universities of Wisconsin use. We haven't heard from UW-Madison this afternoon about how its students were affected, but our sister station, WKBT in La Crosse, is reporting that students and staff at UW La Crosse were affected, and we'll update you as soon as we know more.
Meanwhile, let's get a look at our first warn forecast. Meteorologist Jacob Montesano is here. A pretty nice way to start the week, Jacob.
Yeah, temperatures were a little bit warmer than yesterday, and right now we're in the middle to upper 60s across Dane County, and this is the case for just about everybody. Looking at the current temperatures, everyone in the 60s, a few places further west actually close to the lower 70s. Now, the reason it's warmer today compared to yesterday is yesterday was breezy, and today is also that case, but today the winds are more out of the south, and right now current wind speeds are up above 20 miles per hour, so definitely breezy out there, but again, the winds actually helping warm those temperatures up a little bit. Now, as we look at the current radar, we're not seeing anything yet, but you can see further to the west there are some showers kind of beginning to move in to areas near the Mississippi River. Madison, not expect to see rain until a little bit later, but everyone will likely see at least showers in the vicinity through the later evening and early overnight hours. Nothing too heavy, but again, everyone will have a chance of rain. Best chance will be for areas to the north of Madison. Places to the south still could see some rain, just a little bit less likely. And this is going to be brief. This will clear out probably by around midnight, and then we'll see clear skies to start Tuesday, but Tuesday is going to be a lot different from today. We'll see those cloudy skies for the afternoon, and it will be a lot cooler. So I'll talk more about that coming up a bit later.
All right, Jacob, thank you. An unfair ask. That is what the Dane County Sheriff is calling a proposal requiring the department to leave 28 positions unfilled in order to balance the county budget.
The county board supervisors proposing that amendment say it's to divert the money to pay for those positions to other needed services in the county. But as Arman Rahman found out, the sheriff says this is not the way to do it. Arman?
That's right. He says this could disproportionately affect rural areas that don't have city or municipal law enforcement by delaying response times and potentially reducing coverage. The proposal calls for taking the money that will be spent on 28 currently unfilled deputy positions and instead investing that into other services, namely staffing the upcoming men's shelter and other health and human services initiatives. The sheriff says they have already lost 3 positions and their budget is a third of the health and human services budget.
This is not a this or a that solution. This is a this and a that. I encourage our county board members not just to take from one to give to another, but to find and provide for both. Because we can't have one without the other. We can't have health and human services and a lack of public safety, and we cannot have a lack of public safety but health and human services.
The proposal was put forth by Dane County supervisors because the budget is facing a $31 million deficit. One of those supervisors tells me that the sheriff's office did not submit a 4% reduction plan when all departments were asked to. Sheriff Barrett claims it's because there was no place to take from in his budget. Now, Barrett says this would also affect the opening of the new Dane County Jail, which has been the subject of a lot of back and forth in the county for years. Find out how tonight at 6.
All right, Armand, we'll see you at 6. Thank you. We now know the name of a Janesville woman who died after a crash in Dodge County over the weekend. The sheriff's office says the victim was 64-year-old Cynthia McIntosh. She was driving through the intersection of county highways I and E when a dump truck heading west west hit her car. The sheriff's office says County Highway E has the right-of-way and County Highway I has stop signs. It's not clear whether the truck driver stopped. The investigation into this crash is continuing.
Well, this evening, the future of ambulance services in Richland County will be in the hands of the county board. It comes after the Richland County Executive Committee voted to phase out the county's ambulance services with a unanimous decision this past Tuesday. The full Richland County Board still needs to pass it for it to go into effect. A statement by the Richland County Board claims the service was no longer fiscally sustainable. The county's 2026 budget is already projected to run through $250,000 from the county's reserves before adding an extra cost from the continuation of ambulance services.
It's a scenario that's playing out all over Wisconsin, particularly in the rural areas.
If the board and the ambulance services don't come to an agreement in the next 3 months, services will end. The county board will meet tonight at 7.
Well, with John Nolan Drive now down to 1 lane, the Madison Fire Department is reassuring people about emergency response times. Assistant Chief of Operations Jeff Larson says the Madison Fire Department has not adjusted its responses yet. He says the department can maintain response times using alternate routes. If there's an emergency in the area of the construction, fire and EMS will work with construction crews to decide on the best response. If you're on John Nolan Drive and you see an emergency vehicle, only pull over when it is safe to do so. Do not go on the sidewalks or the curbs.
Well, there's another candidate in the race for Wisconsin's lieutenant governor. Small business owner Will Martin announced his campaign today. He previously served under Governors Tommy Thompson and Scott Walker. Martin says he's committed to tackling issues like the job market and home ownership. Martin's platform will focus on cutting state government costs and partnering with the private sector. The seat will be vacant because current Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez is running for governor. Other candidates running for her seat include Secretary of State Sarah Godlewski and Democrat Cyril Sablich, a Republican student at Waukesha County Technical College, and former Lancaster Mayor David Varnum, also a Republican.
Well, the Badger football statistics this weekend were not great, and neither were the UW police departments.
Saturdays at Camp Randall are always a good time, but game days can sometimes lead to increased trouble. Nash Dara shows us.
During Wisconsin's shutout loss to Ohio State on Saturday, it was reported by the Madison Police Department that 32 people were ejected from Camp Randall, 17 of which were UW-Madison students. Authorities also responded to 26 first aid calls and issued 20 citations. UW-Madison Police Executive Director of Communications Mark Lavacott said the UW-PD statistics of Saturday correlated to a typical game day in Madison. Lavacott also shared that most of the contacts that they have to deal with involve alcohol.
It's, very much the case on game day, but when we talk about our enforcement across campus any day of the week, it's behavior-based. We're watching for behaviors that are illegal or dangerous and trying to intervene to make sure that person is okay and doesn't harm themselves or others.
The Wisconsin Badgers won't be back at Camp Randall until November 8th for their game against Washington, but until then, the UW-Madison Police Department is hoping that all of those numbers go down. In Madison, Nash Dara, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Nash. Camp Randall implemented the sales of alcohol in the stadium in 2024, which has actually led to a decrease in the UW-PD game day statistics.
Tonight, we're taping our biggest episode of The Huddle yet. Sports director Andrew Banster will be joined by Badger legend and Pro Football Hall of Famer Joe Thomas. The live taping begins tonight at 7 o'clock at Jay's Bar. We hope to see you there.
A new study out today shows peanut allergies in children are down.
Why that's the case and what the new top allergen for kids is.
And it's a windy but mild day out today. Jacob Montesano shows us how long the windy weather will last in his First Warn forecast.
Plus, after striking Gaza, Israel says its ceasefire with Hamas is back on. Why the country says it broke the deal to begin with and how the U.S. is trying to hold it together.
More than 90,000 pounds of pre-packaged breakfast burritos and wraps are under a recall for a possible listeria contamination. The California company MCI Foods manufactured the recalled products between September 17th and October 14th. They're sold under brands El Mas Fino, Los Cabos, and Mitamar. These meals are included as part of a national school breakfast and lunch program, which serves millions of children around the country. So far, there have been no reported cases of illness.
New research shows that fewer kids are suffering from peanut allergies. The journal Pediatrics released a study today that found a 43% drop in peanut allergies. The shift comes after a big change in national guidance in 2017 that encouraged parents to introduce their babies to peanuts earlier in life to avoid the development of an allergy. Experts say that helps babies build up tolerance in the gut. The study also found peanuts are no longer the top allergen for young kids. Eggs are now #1.
Here are the numbers on Wall Street today. The Dow is up 516 points. The Nasdaq is up 311 points. The S&P 500 is up 71.
President Trump says the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas is still in place, but fighting over the weekend tested the fragile truce.
Both Israel and Hamas have accused each other of violating the deal in recent days as the Trump administration's negotiators try to keep it on track. Natalie Brand reports from the White House.
Funerals are taking place today in Gaza after Israel's military launched strikes over the weekend, accusing Hamas of violating the ceasefire deal. Israel says militants attacked Israeli troops, killing 2 soldiers. Hamas denied responsibility.
I don't believe it was the leadership, but they had some rebellion in there among themselves, and they killed some people, a lot of people. But this is a violent group.
Israel said Monday the ceasefire is back on and aid trucks are being allowed back into Gaza. President Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff and his son-in-law Jared Kushner, who's also been a key negotiator, have returned to Israel to work on keeping the peace deal intact.
Prime Minister Netanyahu met earlier today with Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and President Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner on the developments and updates in the region.
The two sat down with CBS's 60 Minutes to discuss implementation of the future phases, which includes rebuilding Gaza. They also talked about their message to the Israelis.
Now that the war is over, if you want to integrate Israel with the broader Middle East, you have to find a way to help the Palestinian people thrive and do better.
How are you doing with that message?
We're just getting started.
Kushner acknowledged Hamas is trying to take back its position governing Gaza and that success or failure of peace in the region will be the creation of a viable alternative. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Israel confirmed Vice President J.D. Vance will be headed to Israel soon and will meet with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
The president says he will end U.S. aid to Colombia after calling that country's president a, quote, illegal drug dealer. It comes after the Colombian leader Gustavo Petro criticized the president's strikes on boats in the Caribbean, including a Colombian vessel. Petro says one of those strikes killed a fisherman, accusing the American government of murder. The U.S. alleges the boats were being used for drug trafficking. The president and his administration have defended at least 7 strikes on boats in the Caribbean in recent weeks.
The Senate is preparing for an 11th vote to fund the government as it enters a 3rd week of the federal shutdown. Senate Majority Leader John Thune is expected to bring a bill this week that would pay federal employees and military service members who've worked during the shutdown. Advancing that legislation would require support from Democrats, and that's something GOP leaders aren't confident they'll get.
I don't have any faith that they're going to pass it, though. I think they're going to continue to play games. But we're on a 48-hour notice to return everybody to do work as soon as they'll turn the lights on or do something meaningful like that.
If the Senate were to pass that bill, Johnson says he would bring the House back in session. Senate Republicans will meet with the president tomorrow.
President Joe Biden's former press secretary joined CBS Mornings today to explain her decision to leave the Democratic Party. Karine Jean-Pierre was a registered Democrat for 20 years, serving in the Obama and Biden administrations. In 2022, she became the first Black and openly LGBTQ person to be named White House press secretary. After President Biden left office in January, she became a registered independent, criticizing how Democrats, she says, failed to rally behind the president before he dropped his re-election bid.
But not just the party that pushed him out, the party as it's behaving today in this moment when we need a Democratic Party to be fighting, to be an opposition party. And that really what ignited the book. Right after the administration, I was just minding my business, right? No longer a public servant, going to the grocery store, going to my kids' school. People would come up to me and strangers, and they would say, what's going on with the Democratic Party? Why aren't they fighting?
Her new book is titled Independent, a look inside a broken White House outside the party lines. The book hits newsstands tomorrow.
Let's get a look at our first warn forecast. A nice day out there, but it is windy. Might need to grab some extra hairspray.
Yeah, and this is going to be the last nice day possibly for the week. Now, it will warm back up towards the end of the week, but we're going to see a pretty big cool down as we head into Tuesday. Now, looking at the three things you need to know, we're going to continue to see some breezy weather through Wednesday with rain tonight into potentially rain tomorrow into tomorrow night as well. And we will see those cooler temperatures with some overnight lows dropping into the 30s. Now, let's start with the rainfall. Still seeing a lot of sunshine for Madison, but cloudy skies are beginning to develop for areas to the north and to the west. That will continue throughout the evening, and then later in the evening, we'll see those showers move through our area, mostly bringing in some light rain. Could see some pockets of heavier rain, but for the most part, the rain not going to be a big issue, but everyone will likely see at least the chance of some showers with clear skies to start Tuesday, but then more clouds during the afternoon, and then showers are expected to redevelop across our area and continue into the early overnight hours for Tuesday. Once again, mostly pretty light, not going to see anything terribly heavy. And we're going to continue to see cloudy skies for Wednesday, but most of the rain will have cleared out. Maybe a little bit more sunshine for southwest Wisconsin, but a lot of the area still going to be pretty cloudy for Wednesday. And looking at the temperatures, tonight's lows are going to be pretty close to normal. Lower 40s are expected. And then for the afternoon Tuesday, those temperatures are not really going to rise all that much. We're going to continue to see continue to see 40s throughout the entire day with high temperatures barely reaching 50, but a lot of the area will see those highs staying in the 40s. The cloudy skies Tuesday night will allow temperatures to stay relatively steady in the 40s with, once again, highs only in the 40s for Wednesday afternoon. So from tonight through Wednesday afternoon, a lot of the area not going to get colder than 40 or warmer than 50. But then when we start to see some clear skies Wednesday night, that will allow the temperatures to fall quite a bit. We could be seeing temperatures near, if not below, freezing for a lot of the area. And most of the region has not seen a freezing temperature yet this season. Wednesday night could definitely be that first for this season, with those temperatures once again dropping back into the 30s for Thursday night. So it is going to definitely get pretty chilly, and on top of that, it's going to remain pretty breezy at least through Wednesday, so it may feel even cooler for a few during that time frame. So in general, much cooler after today, and for reference, the highs today are in the middle to upper 60s. And we're likely not going to get back to that level over the next 10 days. After today, even the warmest days will only feature highs around 60. So it's really time to get used to these temperatures because they are here. And as I mentioned, definitely could see our first freezing temperature either Wednesday or Thursday night.
It was beautiful over the weekend.
Yeah.
And I love when we get the breezes now. It blows all the little pin leaves all around. It's sort of like a whirlwind of leaves.
The fall colors are really going to kick into gear this week for sure with these temperatures.
Are we at peak pretty now?
Not quite at peak, but we're getting there. If you look out, you can still see quite a bit of green, but you also could see other trees, very yellow and red for sure.
Temps are catching up.
It's going to be a crock pot day tomorrow.
I think so.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm always up for that.
Right. Thank you, Jacob.
Coming up on Live at 4, our Coats for Kids campaign may be over, but there is still time to help out.
Josh Spreiter shows us how when Live at 4 is back.
In the 608, we are just a few days away from handing out coats for kids, bringing our 2025 campaign to a close.
Yep, just right on cue. The weather is cooling off. Josh Spreiter is here with the follow-up and what you need to know about the distribution this week.
Distribution Day is set for Friday at the Boys and Girls Clubs of Dane County as we look to hand out close to 5,000 coats to local families in need this winter. Although the donation period is over, there is still time to help. The club is looking for volunteers to continue to help them sort, transfer, and distribute the thousands of coats later this week. You can find those shifts available in a link on channel3000.com. You'll be helping make a difference, giving these kids and their families a special shopping experience they surely won't forget.
We hang them on racks in all of our gymnasium areas so that families can come in and pick the coat that their child wants. Or a lot of times the children will come in also and be like, yeah, I totally want, this black and gray one, or there's like some Disney colored ones. And they get really excited about getting their new winter gear.
This will mark the end of our 40th annual Coats for Kids Winter Coat Collection. For the past 4 decades, you, our News 3 Now viewers, have donated nearly 360,000 winter coats. So once again, a huge thank you for helping make this campaign such a success. Distribution Day will be Friday, October 24th from 4 to 6 at the following Boys and Girls Clubs of Dane County locations: the McKenzie Family Club in Sun Prairie, the Eric and Anthony Fleming Club in Madison, and the Allied Family Center in Fitchburg. You can find all of these details along with links on channel3000.com. In the 608, I'm Josh Spreiter, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Josh. And as always, thanks to everybody who helped us this year.
You were a big help. Well, there was an ugly loss for the Badgers this weekend, and it's prompting the question about the team's future.
When we come back, hear directly from head coach Luke Fickell when Live at 4 returns.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Live at 4. I know you and I both took separate road trips, and we got to see some of the beautiful fall colors around Wisconsin.
The weather this weekend was just about perfect.
Can't beat it.
Wasn't it? It was beautiful outside, but the winds of change are coming. It's a little cooler today, and the weather words, windy and wet. Some rain is on the way, and Jacob is watching the forecast. When can we expect that rain?
Well, we could see it as early as later this evening. Should wait until after sunset, and until that moment, we're still going to see some pretty good conditions. Right now in the 60s across Dane County, middle to upper 60s, I should point out, and that's the case for everybody, with some locations actually close to 70. So a pretty good day, all things considered, and especially considering what's to come. A big reason that it is better today is we're seeing the winds more out of the south rather than out of the northwest yesterday, and some of these winds are up near 25 miles per hour, and these are just the sustained winds. Gusts are up in the 30s. Now, taking a look at the current radar, still dry, and we still will be dry for several hours. Areas near the Mississippi River, though, could see some rain over the next hour or two, but a lot of the area won't see rain again until a little bit later, but we will see those clouds develop over the next few hours. Any rain, though, will be light. The best chance of rain will be for areas north of Madison. Not going to see a whole lot, maybe some pockets of moderate to heavier rain, but still just a few light showers expected to pass through. They are going to be pretty brief, as most of it will clear out by midnight with clear skies to start Tuesday, but then we'll see clouds develop for Tuesday afternoon, and that will lead to much cooler temperatures and some more rain. So I'll talk more about both coming up a bit later.
Thank you, Jacob. Fallout from the Sun Prairie Area School District's handling of a former staff member's alleged child sex crimes continues.
The Dane County District Attorney has charged former Sun Prairie West High School Dean of Students Robert Gilkey Meisegeier with more than a dozen child sex crimes, some of which allegedly happened with students on school grounds.
And police arrested Gilkey Meisegeier in July.
In early September, he pleaded not guilty to 13 counts of possessing child sexual abuse materials and 2 counts of child sexual exploitation.
Later that month, the district released personnel records of Gilkey Meisegeier, revealing district staff knew about the allegations against him since April, but did not tell law enforcement despite being required to do so. The failure to inform police about the allegations has left parents furious and has led them to demand answers from the district.
They've protested at several school board meetings, and there is a governance meeting tonight.
Tanasia Shaw has been following this story for months and is in Sun Prairie ahead of that meeting. Tanasia.
Hi, Brady and Susan. Yes, the meeting tonight will likely focus on how the school board communicates with the public, and tensions here in Sun Prairie are very high. Since Robert Gilkey Meisegeier's arrest, there have been tons of meetings, and parents have packed every single one of them, protesting and speaking out on the district's school board and their decisions leading up to his arrest. And there have been a lot of developments in the month of October alone. So far, there has been an annual meeting and a regular school board meeting. At the annual meeting, the community voted to keep levy limits the same, and they voted no confidence in the Sun Prairie Superintendent, Brad Sarin, and this would lead to him being on a performance review plan. Again, both motions have passed, and right now they are working on being approved. Now, a week later, since that annual meeting, parents spoke out for or against the community's decision at a regular school board meeting. And at that regular school board meeting last Monday, there's been a lot of backlash and back and forth.
Some community members and former employees claim that they haven't been heard.
Remember, you object and you
This is my time.
You have to be fair to everybody. It's been
Community members, conversations,
time and time again.
Conversations
No,
have
you
been
need
offered.
to be fair.
This is Rick's time. I am
But
being
you
fair.
need to interject and let him know he cannot be speaking against a current board member the same way you would if it was anybody else. In the past, we've cut people off
This
for
is
doing
my
that,
time.
and now you're letting him get away with it.
Lisa, you have.
Again, tonight's school board meeting is likely about how the school board will communicate with the public. I spoke to Sun Prairie's communications leader, and she said that they are drafting a new proposal. Tonight at 5, we'll hear more from last week's meeting, and tonight at 10, we will hear from parents at tonight's meeting. Reporting in Sun Prairie, Tanasia Shaw, News 3 Now.
We will see you at 5. Tanasia, thank you. Gilkey Messigeyer is scheduled to be in court again on October 30th. We will continue to follow this case closely right here on News 3 Now, and you can receive updates directly to your phone with the free Channel 3000 mobile app.
Luke Fickell is in the hot seat again after an embarrassing loss at home on Saturday. The Badgers failed to score a point against #1 Ohio State, losing 34-0. We again heard calls from the crowd to fire Fickell, who was asked about the future of the team's financial support today as the Badgers continue to spiral.
That there are so many things that are unknown, what that looks like as we continue to move forward. For me and for what it is that we're doing, I mean, how can you focus past anything but what Saturday brings?
Despite the team's consistent losses, UW-Madison is still backing the coach. UW Athletic Director Chris McIntosh sent a letter to season ticket holders urging them to continue supporting Fickell. In some better sports news, if the Badgers are bumming you out, well, pay attention to the Packers.
That's right. News 3 Now senior Packers writer Jason Wilde looks ahead to this coming weekend's game when the Packers face a familiar former teammate.
We're going to hear a lot of Aaron Rodgers stories this week as the Packers get ready to travel to Pittsburgh to face their former quarterback, now with the Pittsburgh Steelers. But we may not hear a better one than the one that Micah Parsons told after Sunday's win over the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona. Apparently in 2022, after the Packers beat the Cowboys, Rodgers approached Parsons, who was in his second year in the NFL, and said he wanted to swap jerseys with him. Micah Parsons thought, wait, one of the GOATs wants one of my jerseys? He didn't believe it at first, but he turned over his jersey, and shortly thereafter in the mail came an Aaron Rodgers game-used signed jersey just for Micah Parsons. Now, of course, Micah Parsons is a Packer, Aaron Rodgers is a Steeler, and Micah Parsons has never gotten a sack against Aaron Rodgers in his career, but he intends to get one on Sunday night. We'll see if he succeeds at that, but I can tell you this, he succeeded in getting that jersey from one of the all-time greats, and it hangs in Micah Parsons' man cave. We'll have all kinds of coverage of the Packers and the Steelers all week long on our website, channel3000.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for our newsletter, which delivers our Packers coverage directly to your inbox every single day. In Green Bay at Lambeau Field, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
Thank you, Jason. Later on, a fall-like chill is on the way. Football weather. Jacob Montesano shows us how cool it will get in his first warn forecast.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Well, a new thriller with an A-list Hollywood cast opened in theaters this weekend.
After the Hunt stars Julia Roberts, Iowa Debris, and Andrew Garfield, among many others. Question is it worth seeing? Here's film critic Will Loper's review.
Susan and Brady. Several new releases in theaters saw the horror film Black Phone 2 coming out on top with $26 million. Hello, Finny. And the thriller After the Hunt ended in ninth with $1.5 million.
All your generation, you're scared of saying the wrong thing. When did offending someone become the preeminent cardinal sin?
Maybe it's around the same time your generation started making sweeping generalizations about ours.
After the Hunt comes from director Luca Guadagnino, who previously brought us Call Me By Your Name, Challengers, and Queer. In the film, Julia Roberts plays philosophy professor Alma, who learns one of her students, Maggie, played by Iowa Debris, may have been sexually assaulted by Alma's fellow professor and friend, Hank, played by Andrew Garfield.
Hank walked me home. He asked for a nightcap, which, you know, it's fine. He's Hank. Everybody loves Hank.
What are you saying happened?
Is Maggie telling the truth, or should Alma believe her friend?
So are you going to tell me why this is not true?
Aunt Maggie cheated. I told her I suspected she plagiarized, and then the next day, utter fabrication.
Julia Roberts turns in a fantastic performance as the icy and distant professor. But on the whole, the film is an unpleasant watch, with its unlikable characters, unnecessarily long opening 20 minutes, and grating soundtrack.
Did you know anything about this? I worked too hard, done too much to get here, to let it all just be taken away.
After the Hunt is not worth seeing. Go back and rewatch any of director Guadagnino's previous films instead.
You should be ready. Ready for what?
Live at 4, I'm Will Loper.
Will's not alone in that assessment either.
He's on the hunt for a better movie, apparently.
Yes. Coming up on Live at 4, what was stolen after a heist at the Louvre?
And later, what happens when you mix pumpkin carving and rowing? Well, this. People in Portland are going to show us.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Well, now the latest on a stunning theft at one of the world's most famous museums during the day.
Yeah, thieves smashed an upstairs window at the Louvre in Paris while tourists just wandered nearby.
The burglars made off with priceless jewels, and they're still at large. Elizabeth Palmer has the latest from Paris.
It was a heist in plain sight. The thieves parked a mobile ladder against the wall of the Louvre at 9 on Sunday morning. Then police say they broke this window and made straight for the sumptuous Apollo Gallery, where France's crown jewels are on display. It took them 7 minutes and a circular saw to steal 9 priceless objects, including a pearl and diamond tiara made for Napoleon III's wife, Eugenie, and a whole sapphire-studded set. David Chanteron is an art historian who's worked in the Louvre.
What will the thieves do with the pieces they've robbed?
It's very difficult to know what's happened after this moment.
It's possible, he says, the robbery was a special order for a private collector, but more likely the treasures will be broken up and the gems sold. All that is, except this crown. The robbers dropped it in the street as they made their getaway.
Wasn't the glass in the display cabinets reinforced somehow?
La difficulté.
Incredibly, he says, it wasn't. After the robbery, tourists were ushered to the exits. Many disappointed not to see the star attraction here, the Mona Lisa. Though not Jim and Joan Carpenter from California.
It's great. This is our last day of a long trip, and this is the most exciting part today.
Today, more tourists were outside the Louvre, some to visit, others to see the scene of the crime. But no one is getting inside. The Louvre is closed for a second day to let police and museum security experts do their work. Elizabeth Palmer, CBS News, Paris.
It's like a real-life James Bond movie, isn't it?
Quite the heist.
Let's get a check on the weather now. A little cooler, and it could be a little rainier tomorrow.
Yeah, we are going to see those temperatures drop pretty dramatically from today to tomorrow, but the winds are going to continue. We're going to see gusty winds through Wednesday with that chance of rain tonight, another chance of rain tomorrow and Tuesday and tomorrow night as well. And the temperatures are going to get cool with a few nights possibly dropping into the lower 30s. Now, looking at the rainfall, we are going to see some showers begin moving into our area over the next few hours, moving from west to east, but the best chance of rain will be for areas north of Madison. Nothing should be too heavy, but everyone will at least see the chance of rain. Now, once we get towards the morning hours tomorrow, looks like we'll see clear skies to start the day, but then we'll see clouds redevelop, bringing in some more showers, and the shower activity is expected to continue through the rest of the day into the evening and early overnight. And although we're not going to see quite as much rain once we get to Wednesday morning, we're still going to see cloudy skies, and those cloudy skies are expected to last for much of the day, and that will keep temperatures very cool again. Now, looking at the temperatures for tonight, not going to be too cool compared to the last few nights. Pretty normal, lower 40s. Definitely chilly, but it will get chillier for sure. But those 40s in the morning are not really going to change much during the day. We'll see highs only in the upper 40s. And the cloudy skies Tuesday night will once again keep the temperatures still in the 40s. And then Wednesday afternoon, the cloudy skies will again still going to see those 40s, but then we'll start to see the skies become a little bit clearer Wednesday night, and that's going to lead to some very chilly temperatures. Lower 30s are possible Wednesday night, and we could see similar conditions for Thursday night. And a lot of the area has not seen a temperature at freezing yet this season. Wednesday or Thursday night definitely could be that first freeze of the season. Now, during all this, we're going to continue to see breezy weather, especially through Wednesday with gusts up near 30 miles per hour. Again, still breezy Thursday, but not quite as bad, and then the winds will get a lot calmer for Friday and Saturday. So looking at the full 7 to 10 day forecast, for reference, the highs today are in the middle to upper 60s, and notice over the next 10 days we are not expecting temperatures to get that warm at any point. So even the warmest days going forward will only feature highs near 60. Now towards the end of the week it will be drier, a little bit warmer compared to Tuesday through Thursday, and less windy, so it's not going to be too chilly during that time frame, but we're then going to see more rain return this time next week. So it's really time to get used to these fall temperatures because they're here and they're going to stay.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
What do you get when you mix pumpkin carving with a passion for rowing? The annual West Coast Giant Pumpkin Regatta, of course.
Check this out. This is pretty fun. People were out paddling. These are real giant gourds over the weekend near Portland, Oregon. The rowers even dressed up in costume. There was a hot dog and a minion, and even Chef Guy Fieri back there. I like that one. The stakes, of course, not as high as a Badger rowing regatta. The main goal is just to make it safely to the finish line and not go in the drink in their pumpkin boats. A very fun way to celebrate the harvest season. That's really quite a feat of engineering to make sure that you can stay afloat.
Tell your son about this. Maybe he was a rower. This might appeal to him.
I think the UW engineering students have done it here in Madison before.
Very cool.
It looks like fun. Boy, the weekend weather was so gorgeous, and now reality is setting in a little bit. Fall is here.
It's definitely going to feel like fall the next 2 days. May even feel like winter at times. Thursday and Friday mornings, as those lows could drop to near freezing. That'd be the first time this year for Madison.
Oh boy. All right. Thanks, Jacob. We'll be right back.
Tomorrow on Live at 4, what a newly approved Alzheimer's test is showing doctors about the disease. And coming up on News 3 Now at 5, what the Dane County Sheriff has to say after his request to fill empty positions in his office was denied. Thanks for watching Live at 4 today. We'll see you back here tomorrow, same time, same place. You can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.